Hello, everyone. Happy to be with you again and happy to be able to share this with all of you. Today, as I wrote in the title of this live video, we're having an invitation to inner peace and an invitation to self-discovery. As I promised to you a month ago, we're going to do some live videos every once in a while. I was hoping to be able to do it daily or every couple of days, but it turns out it might be once a week or so. Some videos about how to have more energy, how to get more prana in your system, and overall how to dive deeper into the pranic consciousness. Well, today we're talking about inner peace and centering, self-centering, as the source or the method to integrate the prana in your system and to activate it, actually, because there's nothing to integrate. Prana is everywhere. As I started my spiritual journey, restarted my spiritual journey some years ago, I remember I was very, very busy. I told this story many times. I was a really busy woman, chasing all these dreams of trying to make a family, trying to, be the best I could in my job. I was already a manager, but I wanted to be more. I was thinking of having my own business and so on. And there was all this trying, in me towards something. I was always going towards something and aiming towards something. And behind it all, there was this layer of boredom. Like I was bored. My soul was bored of everything that I was doing. My soul was bored of the wife role that I was playing. It was bored of the role of a manager that I was playing, watching, numbers all day and trying to get people to do what they needed to do in order for the business to go well, and calling the clients and signing contracts, everything, all this game. Going to the office, living from the office, I was going home, watching the movie, going to sleep. Everything was, I was clearly feeling that I was not in alignment in some way, and that life just was passing by while I was playing a role in some way. It was not my clear perception back then, but I was having this feeling of like things weren't falling into place. And eventually I started to get ill, to have this, these times of blackout every once in a while where nobody knew what to do to me. The hospitals and everyone were confused about it. Even I was confused about it. And at some point I went past hospitals because they weren't doing any good. And I wasn't able to find myself in any way. And I went and I talked to someone, and I was finally able to have a deeper conversation, beyond the usual tasks that we all had, beyond the business realm, beyond the plans that everyone was making, beyond the current mental chatter that, unless we're all planning something together and we want to get it done and then get back to our inner self, it doesn't do any good, this chatting that people do, over the restaurants and so on. So finally I was having a deep conversation, and I remember leaving that meeting, and while I was going home, because it was also a chance to self-inquiry, to go deeper into myself and look at what I'm really after and what I'm really looking for and what I want really for my life and how I would like it to unfold. And as I was going home, everything felt different. There was this layer of peace, inside myself. And there was like I was finally turning back home. Like I was finally going back inside again. I even to this day feel, this emotion of finding myself that I'm sharing now with you. I remember I was driving my car. I had a big car and I was driving it across some fields of grains. And I was seeing everything like for the first time. It was like all the fields and the light from the sun flowing over them and the flowers that I would see on the fields, everything was shining differently. Everything had a glow to it, a deeper glow to it that I wouldn't see before, and that really amazed me. And it was like life had passed by me to that moment, and it was the first time I opened my eyes and I saw everything that was around, and the beauty of it, the beauty of everything that was around me. And the light, the light was shining differently. I would see light flowing, from the sky, reflecting in my window, uh, my car window, and throughout the fields and everywhere. And it had a different glow to me. It was like it was reflecting into my soul and back out again. I cannot know how to explain this really in words because the state was so deep. And then the feeling of peace was so, like a blanket around me, keeping me warm. It was amazing. And that state stayed with me ever since. And it grew bigger and bigger as I started to meditate, as I started to really look deep inside myself and to really question everything that was going on in my life, and all my reasons and all my actions now were observed from a different place. And my actions, of course, started to change accordingly, because there was no longer um, there was no longer a random course of actions in my life. There was a supervised course of actions. Like somebody was finally there in this home, in this body home, that was watching the direction in which this body was going, and the decisions that this body would take, and so on. And there were synchronicities, and there were, there was finally a flow that would permeate and impregnate through every fabric of what I was, unfolding in this world, finally. And the more I meditated, the more this started to be more present, up to the point where it became a natural state of being. But it took some time until this came to be a more stabilized way of being. And the other rhythm, the old rhythm of and random actions and ego-based choices and so on, faded away. And I know many of you are going through this phase now, where you're probably asking yourself, why am I doing the things I'm doing? Why am I here, first of all? And that's the main question. And then why am I doing these things I'm doing? When you look at your life, why are you being married? Why are you in the job you're in? Why are you going to the office in the morning, or meeting the people you meet during the day? And making the calls that you're making, and choosing the food that you're choosing, and everything. There's, you know, when you start looking at it, from a conscious place, there have to be alignments in your life. Like when I started to really look from within at my life, not from without, not from the mind, everything faded away. Everything that was in my life that was not in alignment with the choices of my soul faded away forever, because it was pointless. The things I was doing back then were pointless. Well, they were part of the journey. They brought me here, but they were not, it was like a dissonant song that was not, helping my soul unfold the best way it could. And since then, my main motivation, my main, goal was to stay centered in that place, to stay, to keep in touch with that inner place that emanates the best synchronicities, the best choices, the best outcomes in my life. There's no stronger goal that can bring more benefits in our lives. There's nothing else. Nothing else exists, really, in the absence of this presence. And going back to the invitation of inner peace, I would ask, what makes you feel that, if ever you felt it? Or what makes you feel more peaceful and more centered? How are your ways of going back to your centered and back in contact with yourself? Did you find any techniques, any, methods? Or sometimes you don't even need techniques and methods. It's just a matter of finding that place and not leaving it. Or if you leave it, remembering it back again. Did you pass by it? Did you touch it recently? Have you felt that your decision come from that place of deep contact and deep being within, or do they come from another place, more external, more random, so to speak? I would really like to hear your comments about that, and to hear what's your way of being now, and what's your way of acting, and what's directing the directions of your life and your choices. Because I know this is important for all of us now to know. And that place is an important place for all of us to be in. That place of home, of inner centering, of true presence. Because if everyone is finding and keeping in touch with that place, all the actions and all the choices start to become synchronistic, and then humanity can finally go in a rhythm that is finally harmonious. That is what I was about in the past 8 years, and I'm still, aiming to keep as much as possible, if not all the time, in touch with that place of that inner center, that emanates the best for all. And to get a little bit out of this holistic, very, very, very profound discussion, but I felt it was necessary, to talk about this today. I want to let you know that I'm finally organizing, someone is calling me to organize a retreat in Malaga, in Spain, a pranic consciousness retreat, where we're going to do detox, and meditation and yoga and qigong and all these practices that I've practiced throughout the years. And when I say detox, I don't only refer to food detox, like not eating or eating less, or we're going to be mostly on juices, but everyone can choose, what he eats and what he chooses. I'm going to recommend a physical detox as well with juices and light stuff. But we're going to go through a more profound detox where we're really looking at the emotions that arise and how to be able to go through them and integrate them. And that's emotional detox. We're going to go through what are the usual thoughts that you have and the usual mental patterns and all that, and that's mental detox. And especially we're going to go through what are the programs that mainly govern the life of the participants, and are they beneficial for you or not, and that's mental detox. And we're going to go also through heart detox and check on the wounds and the triggers that make you close your heart and not be willing to stay in it and to stay in love, in the place of love. And we're going to go through what could make you open your heart more and stay in that place of openness and loving attitude. We're going to go through that and much more, and we're going to also have a lot of fun because it's an amazing place with fantastic view, a four-star hotel with pool and jacuzzi and all the nice stuff that the body likes, and fabulous surroundings, on the Spanish hills, full of prana. And we're gonna have fabulous trips and also some shopping session towards the end and so on. So I invite you. This was a second invitation to inner peace, because it's really an inner peace retreat where you get more in touch with that place where consciousness is emanating from, and the chance to get more tools and steps to be able to go back to it every time you fall out of it, because naturally it's the human world, and here where we get distracted and we get sometimes blurred by all this outer noise. There's this outer noise that makes you think sometimes that things are important, that you have to go after them to chase that dream, to chase this money, to chase that family picture that you've had in your head that will make you happy, or to chase that whatever dream you have for your career and for your job. And in all that chase, at some point you stop and you see that you've lost yourself, and you see that you've lost your center, and that you're no longer there, and you don't even know why you started and where you've started. And that's the time, if ever you get to realize that, because some don't realize that to the end of their lives, until on deathbed or so. But if you ever get the time to realize that during your life, while you're still in your power and you can reshape your life, if ever you get the chance to realize that, then you start questioning, like I said, all your whys, all your reasons, and you start looking at your life from a more conscious point. Well, that's the invitation that I'm launching tonight, an invitation to inner peace, and to see what brings you to your inner peace, what brings you to your center, what brings you to that place where everything flows synchronistically. What are the tools that you are using, or the steps that you are doing to get back to your center? Or does it all happen naturally? Or are you already there and you're never leaving? Did you find a way to not ever get distracted? And if you did, please share it with us. I'm curious, because to this day, I never found someone, and I've met fabulous people. You can look at the Pranic Consciousness Summit, where we're interviewing all these incredible pranic masters, and we're having these online meetings with all of them. or you can look through the participants list of the Pranic Festival in Romania, and I meet fantastic speakers that are in a very high state of consciousness. But I'm really looking now for a recipe or a tool or a person that never gets distracted, that never gets out of that state, permanently imbued in that state of conscious self. And if you have, what keeps you there? I'm curious to know. Okay, so let me hear your questions or comments, if any, and click on the link below or above the video to see what I'm talking about. When I mean Pranic Consciousness Retreat, you'll be delighted of what's flowing there, and you'll be delighted of the images and the energy of that presentation, because it's really what makes my heart sing. And I did my best to put it all in a web page, even though that's not possible. If you can read energy, if you can feel, vibration, then you can feel what really this retreat is about. So check this page, join us. There's still 1 week or so for you to decide. You can decide until March 15, and at least make an installment to join in. And on April 2nd to 8th, we're going to be all together in Spain, in Marbella, and going back to our centers with the Pranic Consciousness Retreat, and going back to that inner peace that is our true nature, of course. So if there are no further questions or comments, and happy birthday to all the ladies, not birthday, but happy Women's Day to all the ladies, to all the fabulous goddesses that are joining us today. I'm really grateful for the feminine energy that is flowing through all of us, and into this world. And as a gift for that, for everyone, we have just obtained a 200 euros discount for this fabulous retreat, to be able to give in a fabulous way to all the ladies, but also the men that want to participate. And if you still didn't have to take the time to make a gift to your loved one, maybe that would be the perfect gift for him or her. Many hugs of love to you, blessings, and I'm grateful for your participation. I'm willing to see your comments or questions, if any. Feel free to contact me, in a private message or email or comments if anything arises. And see you soon in Spain, maybe, or in my next live session. Bye bye.